Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 12 and compare it against the iPhone 12 Pro Max and see which specific phone you should go and buy in 2023. Now, I will definitely tell you if you can afford the 12 Pro Max, please go for this one. It is a way better device, it's bigger, has a lot more capability. But I think the iPhone 12, for it still being sold in the brand new market by Apple, makes this one a little bit easier to buy than the 12 Pro Max. But if you want to pick up either one of these phones, the links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. And starting off side by side, you can definitely tell that the iPhone 12 is much smaller than the 12 Pro Max. The iPhone 12, which came out in 2020, has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display on it, and it's a pretty good panel. I've been talking about the screen panel for many years now, and I do think Apple did a pretty tremendous job with this phone when it first came out. You have a notch on it, you have a little bit of bezel around it, but it's really not a massive deal. And I think at the end of the day, if you're going to pick up a phone, this is still a pretty decent panel for the most part. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it definitely gets the job done. It's 60 hertz, but 2020, I guess, a lot of phones are still coming out with 60 hertz panels too, so it's not a big deal. With the 12 Pro Max, on the other hand, you are getting a massive 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it's a much bigger panel. It is kind of this, I don't want to say this is a way better panel, but it's a bigger panel, high resolution, I think, kind of. And on top of that, it is still a 60 hertz panel. So no 120 hertz here on either one of these. So it still looks pretty good. Viewing angles are awesome. You still have the notch up top too. But it is a very big phone. It is a much bigger phone than what you get on something like the iPhone 12. So it's a pretty insane thing right there. Now, in terms of the thinness and thickness between both, again, you can kind of see that the iPhone 12 is a much smaller phone, pretty much in every single area. If I go and put the iPhone 12 on top, you can see just from the top, from the bottom, how the iPhone 12 just sits in the frame of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's crazy. I do also like this reflective material on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I think it looks pretty good. You have the volume buttons on each sides. The SIM card tools are kind of, I guess, on the same sides too. Now on the back, I do have a completely cracked back on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Just kind of ended up happening that way. The cameras are also kind of shattered there too. With the iPhone 12, you are getting the standard glass back with the dual camera setup. The 12 Pro Max, you are getting this frosted glass back with a triple camera setup. So it's a pretty cool thing that we had on the 12 Pro Max. I think that's always a nice touch to have. With the 12 Pro Max, you're also getting that LiDAR sensor right there too. You're getting MagSafe capability, wireless charging, IP certification. My 12 Pro Max, like I said, is completely cracked, but regardless, you were still getting, I think, a pretty good build quality on the iPhone 12. But I do think the 12 Pro Max is clearly the better one when it kind of comes down to it. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, in the software and the longevity portion, you are definitely going to be getting the same exact lifespan on basically both of these phones. So unless Apple does something completely insane, where they go ahead and only give certain, iPhones from the same year and the same lineup more features and more longevity than the other ones, that's going to be insane. They definitely give them more features for the Pro models, but so far they haven't touched the longevity of each one, so we'll see how that goes. But when it comes down to the iPhone 12, even though it was cheaper than the iPhone 12 Pro Max, both these phones are going to be lasting around the same time there. So there's not going to be a big difference right in that specific standpoint either. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 12 Pro Max has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, so let us get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go get into music, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think we are offline here, so it's not going to be that big of a difference. We can try something like their app stores, 3, 2, 1. Although this one is on Wi-Fi, this one is not, so we'll just have to hop out of this one. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Let's go and take a photo, 3, 2, 1. So they both have their night mode thing that just came up, so we'll see which one is the faster one. And it looks like the 12 Pro Max was faster there by a little bit. The iPhone 12 was a little bit below. Let's go and open up that photo. Not really a massive difference. Let's go and hop out of here. Let's do photos, 3, 2, 1. So kind of roughly about the same thing. Let's go and open up the photos. Let's go and open up this one. So not that big of a difference right there. Hopping out of here. Let's do mail, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 12 Pro Max I think was faster. Calendar, we'll skip that one. We can start opening up some of these third-party applications I have on both. So we can try Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. So this isn't a massive game, but it's still a good game to kind of test out that I do every once in a while. So we can see the 12 Pro Max does seem to be a little bit faster here, and the iPhone 12 is a little tiny bit slower. Again, not a massive deal here, but just something to kind of keep in mind. And you can see that the iPhone 12 Pro Max was the faster one here. If I go and click play, I do kind of want to see what ends up happening, so I'm going to click play, and I think the 12 actually kind of loaded up into it a little bit faster. Hopping out of here, let's go and try something else. Let's go and try Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 12 Pro Max was faster, but this one was logged to an account. We can try Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 12 Pro Max again was the faster one, with the iPhone 12 being a little tiny bit slower. We can try Stack. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 12 Pro Max again was the faster one. iPhone 12 tiny bit behind. We can try Facebook, which I do not have, which is very weird. Oh, I do have it. 3, 2, 1. I might be logged into an account here, and I was, but that's an old account. Let's go hop out of here. We can try something like Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And we are kind of getting into a Wi-Fi issue here. So when it comes down to it, I think the 12 Pro Max is probably the one that's consistently more faster, but I still think the iPhone 12 is still very fast for the most part. Like, you're still getting a very fast phone between both. Not a massive difference, I would say, but if you're trying to get the faster one, I'd probably say that the iPhone 12 Pro Max is clearly the faster one almost every single time. So that kind of covers it up there. Now in the camera department, like I mentioned, you were getting a triple camera setup on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and a dual camera setup on the iPhone 12. I don't know why it's so bright here, but with something like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the thing to keep in mind is that you are getting an extra telephoto lens. You're getting 4K 60 on the back of both these and on the fronts of both these phones, which is really good. That's something I always do like. Now with the iPhone 12, one thing I've always stated is that this is a very decent camera. It's not the best camera of all time. It's definitely not the best camera Apple's made. I think the 13 Pro was a very good camera, and the 14 Pro as well. But this camera, you do have several features. You have video mode, you have slow mode, time lapse. All the way at the end, you have portrait mode and panorama mode. So this is a very solid lens, and for sure, if you're thinking about getting a camera, something like an iPhone 12 is still going to do you very, very well for many, many years to come. So that in and of itself is pretty cool. I think the 12 Pro Max camera is also very decent as well. Like, it's still a very good camera when it kind of comes down to it. So here you are getting 0.5x zoom. So you can zoom out a ton from a photo. So that's always something that's really nice. Zooming in, you are getting 13 12x zoom. So in a photo, you are getting 12x zoom. So that's a really nice thing in and of itself, being able to kind of, zoom in that much and zoom out that much. Those types of things hold up very well for the future of a camera. And that's a very interesting thing here. We also have portrait mode, which is really nice, panorama mode, we have time lapse. So although you are getting the same type of features between both, something like the iPhone 12 Pro Max is probably going to be giving you the better camera when it comes down to it. And to be honest, like I said, the 12 Pro Max is definitely the better phone when it comes down to it as well. I mean, the 12 Pro Max, you're getting a better display, bigger phone, maybe not better battery life, it's bigger battery, but that doesn't always mean it's better battery life. You're getting better build quality, and this is definitely the phone. I mean, if you're okay with the size, then by all means go for it. But I would even say that for probably most people watching this, the iPhone 12 is probably the phone I would recommend more people to buy. It's more comfortable in the hand, it's not as big, it's a smaller phone. It still gives you almost the same type of phone as the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I mean, definitely not the same build quality of the cameras, but it's still a very good camera, still very good display, still very good performance. Like, it's very good. It's a very good phone, especially for the price tag. So I'd probably recommend going for the 12, but if you're okay with the size, then definitely go for the 12 Pro Max. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.